Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Yapurnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grasitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandathami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidussura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Read the first two verses. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam Karmajyayo Hyakarmanaha Sharira Yatra Pichate Na Prasidhyeda Karmanaha Yajnathat Karmanonyatra Lokoyam karma bandhana Tadartham karma kaunteya Mukta sangas samachara. Yajnathat karma anyatra. Anyatra, other than an action performed in the spirit of yajna. Karabandhanaha. Here Arjuna, when an action is performed in the spirit other than yajna, then this person becomes bound by karma. Karma bandhana. Which means that if the action is performed in the spirit of yajna, then you do not become bound. In fact, you become liberated. So every action performed in the spirit other than yajna. Yajna is offering to Ishvara. We can call it the nishkama karma. Karma or action performed without an individual agenda. Action performed as an act of offering. That action becomes a freeing action, meaning that that very action becomes a means of freedom. Thus there are two paths. One is the path of bondage, other is the path of freedom. Says Kathopanishad, Duramete viparite vishuchi avidyayasya vidyeti jnata. There is one path of avidya, ignorance, aviveka, non-discrimination, non-discernment. Other is the path of vidya, or the knowledge, or viveka, or discernment. Each one gives rise to totally opposite kind of results. Person is performing karma as we see outwardly. But what is important is what is the spirit with which a person performs karma. If it is for ego gratification, then that karma becomes binding in as much as ego is something that can never be satisfied. And more we try to satisfy that, more demanding it becomes, more hungry it becomes. And thus we always find ourselves chasing this path, chasing this tendency of self-gratification, and become further and further pressurized by within, further and further driven to do things whether we like it or not. On the other hand, when an action is performed in the spirit of offering, it becomes a freeing action. It progressively makes me free from my own ego. They always talk of giving up the ego. Ego is not something you can pluck out and then throw it. It will be very easy. This ego is in the form of raga and dvesha, attachments and aversions. And therefore we have to do something by which these attachments and aversions are progressively subdued. And this is the path. So the yajna, the subsequent verses describe this concept of yajna. We say that yajna means an action performed in the spirit of offering to Ishvara. Where Ishvara is nothing but the universe manifest before us. So Vedas identify the world as consisting of 5 kinds of living beings. There are 5 kinds of living beings in this universe. And as we said earlier, the universe is interdependent, meaning that we are dependent upon them and they are dependent upon us. So introducing this idea, Lord Krishna says in the next verse, on the page 3, Saha yajñah praja srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadham eshavostvishta kamadhuka. Pura, in the beginning, Prajapati, the creator, Prajaha Srishtva, when the creator created human beings, so until then the whole universe was created. when human beings were created, then the Creator thought of instructing the human beings. Because the creation, rest of the creation is programmed creation, and therefore the Creator has programmed the rest of the creation to function in an orderly manner. Only human being is given free will. Thus human being has some freedom of choice of what to do and what not to do. It is quite likely that this freedom can be abused, meaning that I may choose to do something which is not right to do, and I may avoid doing something which is right. This is what we are discussing. What is right and what is convenient. I may do what is convenient to avoid the pain. In that process, I may perform actions which are damaging to others. For my personal gain, I may wind up performing actions which are damaging to others. Thus, a human being is quite capable of bringing about damage to the world. No other creature can do that because they are well defined and they are well programmed. So, because the freedom is given to us, it is necessary to also give a guidance as to how best to utilize that freedom. How to utilize the freedom so that your freedom becomes a blessing to others as well as a blessing to you. Because that very same freedom could be utilized in a manner that it becomes damaging to others and ultimately damaging to you. Therefore, Creator gave this instruction to human beings. Sahayajnaha. When human beings are created, the spirit of yajna, the spirit of offering, spirit of self-sacrifice also was created. Yajna also was created along with human beings. It was a gift that the Creator gave to human beings, yajna, and told them, Anena prasavishyadhvam. O human beings, by this may you prosper, may you grow. Yeshavo stvishtakāmaduk. May this yajna become ishtakāmaduk. Perhaps you may have heard about Kamadhenu, wish-fulfilling cow. Kamaduk means the same thing. So, ishtakāmaduk means a cow that fulfills all your wishes of whatever you desire. So the Creator said, may this yajna become for you a wish-fulfilling cow. May it give you all the desirable things that you want. Because human being desires. See, as far as other creatures are concerned, they are completely surrendered to the creation, the Creator. And therefore, they accept whatever the creation gives them. Whatever food the creation gives them, whatever the dwelling it gives them, whatever means of livelihood it gives them, other people accept it and comfortably live their life. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuram. All that the creatures need ahara to appease their hunger. Nidra, to take rest when tired. Bhayam, to protect themselves from fear. And maithuram, to procreate themselves. So these are the basic instincts given to all the living beings. And the Creator has made provision to fulfill these basic needs of all the creatures. Meaning that the universe is the dwelling place not only for human being, is meant for everybody. So somebody once asked a question, Swamiji, why did Bhagavan create mosquitoes? He must be really fat, I said, well, mosquito can ask you, why did Bhagavan create you? Because mosquito has as much right to live as we have. We think that the world is only meant for us. No, it's meant for everybody. And what is meant by yajna is living in cooperation. So live in cooperation with the whole universe. How do we do that? So in the next verse, the next verse explains that. But the very spirit of yajna, cooperation, a cooperative effort, not a competitive effort, a cooperative effort. In cooperation, I always keep in mind what is your need, and I also contribute to fulfill your need. Like in our body, all the limbs and organs function in a cooperative manner, and every limb serves the entire body, and the body in turn serves every limb and organ. So that's how the beautiful harmony is there. So the Prajapati said that, oh human beings, may you prosper, may you become happy, may you grow by adopting the spirit of yajna or cooperative effort in your life. See, cooperation always automatically involves our contribution. I have to contribute into your well-being, you contribute to my well-being, and that's how the well-being of all creatures is automatically taken care of. The whole idea of duty, that I am duty bound to you and you are duty bound to me. Where I am duty bound to you, your need becomes more important than my need, and your duty towards me requires that my need becomes more important than your needs. In that manner, I strive to satisfy your needs, and you strive to satisfy my needs. In that process, the needs of everybody get satisfied. So this is what is said in the next verse. Let us read the next verse. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantah shreyah paramavapsyatha. So Prajapati, the Creator, tells the human beings, anena, by the spirit of yajna, by the spirit of offering, by the spirit of cooperative effort, devan bhavayata, oh human beings, bhavayata, may you propitiate devan, the gods. May you propitiate the gods. Te devaha bhavayantu vaha, and in turn those gods will propitiate you. What is these gods? So Veda, as we said, look upon this universe as made up of 5 kinds of living beings. We have the earth, we have the intermediate world, and we have the heaven. Human beings are the indwellers of the earth. We believe that Pitrus or the departed souls live in the intermediate world, the Pitruloka, the world of maids. And Devatas, the gods, live in the heaven. It's a matter of belief, but this is what the Vedas say. On the earth, over and above human beings also, there are other creatures, other living beings are there. So, like animals are there, and other insects and creatures are there, and the plants and trees are there, they are also living beings. So see how Vedas look upon human life of human being as a central to the whole universe. That the human being, particular householder, by the daily duties sustains the entire universe. So this yajna or offering to Ishvara was formalized. We were instructed what to do so that your life automatically becomes an offering to Ishvara. Who is Ishvara? Bhagavan is this universe. And therefore, gods also are manifestations of Ishvara. The Pitrus, the mains, departed souls, also manifestation of Ishvara. We, the human beings, also manifestation of Ishvara. Other human beings in society also same manifestation. Animals also, birds also, trees also, plants also, insects also. All these creatures, all living entities are manifestation of Ishvara. So Vedas teach that we should live a life where all these living beings also, their needs also should be taken into account. That we are not isolated. We discussed earlier that the whole universe is interdependent, and that all these beings that I just described, the devatas, the pitrus, and all of them depend upon this human being, and human being in turn depends upon them. This may not be very obvious to us. Swami, what are these devatas? What do they do in my life? And the pitrus means, what do they have to do in my life? What do these mosquitoes have in my life? What about trees and plants? I don't see any connection with them. But we earlier described, it is a matter of investigation as to how directly or indirectly every creature anywhere has some contribution in my life. Directly or indirectly. All living beings are interdependent. I should not even say living beings, the whole universe, including the insentient also, all interdependent. But poor insentient things cannot talk. But they are also very much part of the whole universe. So there is a statement in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This typically, his householder was required to perform 5 kinds of yajnas every day, called Pancha Mahayajna. 5 yajnas, meaning 5 kinds of offerings that every householder was required to perform. So Upanishad says, one is called Deva Yajna, making offerings to different devatas. And that we already said, that in the fire altar, we invoke the devata, make an offering. So this is the daily duty of every householder, to make offerings to the devatas. Second are these pitrus. Pitrus means those maids, they also depend upon our sustenance. So we perform shraddha, we perform tarpanam, make offering of water and rice, etc. So, to those pitrus. Third thing is that other human beings in the society, the needy human beings also depend upon us. Some people need food, some people need, residence. They are also dependent upon us. The trees also depend upon us. The animals also depend upon us. Even ants also depend upon us. And therefore, in our life, there must be provision for all of them. So the Upanishad says, Atho ayam vatma sarvesham bhutanam lokaha. This human being is the loka, the support of all the beings. How does a human being support everybody? Say Juhodi yad yajate tena devana. When every day he makes an offering to fire, devatas get their ahutis or oblations, and that's how they are propitiated. They are sustained by our ahutis in the fire. Asir anubrute. Other duty already was to study the Vedas and recite them every day. Everybody was supposed to go to Gurukulam, live there for a number of years, study the Vedas, memorize them, and keep it up by every day reciting the Vedas, and where possible, teaching also, passing on the knowledge. That's how the Rishis become happy, because the Rishis have given us this storehouse of knowledge. Then these Pitrus. So what do the ancestors expect from us? That their lineage should continue, one of the things. And secondly, it's a belief system. That when you make offerings here, keeping in mind those departed souls, our ancestors, the offering made here reaches them, and that helps them sustain their position there. Otherwise, it is possible that they might fall from their position, and so to sustain them, we should perform some appropriate actions here to make offerings to them. All belief system, by the way. Have you seen Swami heaven? I can't say I have seen. Have you seen the world of means? I cannot say I have seen. Have you known, how do the mountains and rivers depend upon us? Do you know that? I may not be able to tell you. But these are all what we call, that there is a whole order. Not only physical order. Not only, but there is, as we said, a spiritual order. A moral order, a spiritual order by which all the beings are connected. The whole universe is connected. And what is the order? Order is that everybody helps and everybody also is helped in turn. Upakaraka, upakarya. All those entities that I mentioned, the devatas, the pitrus, the rishis, and others also, all of them contribute to my life, and therefore it is important that I also return the favor to them by making appropriate contributions to them. So then, fourth is, so Pitrus, as we say, also require that we should continue the lineage so that the subsequent generations also continue to offer those water and the rice balls, etc., and perform Shraddha Tarpana to sustain the departed soul ancestors. So that when you do that, they are happy. When you make offerings in the fire, devatas are happy. Perform this Tarpana, etc., Pitrus are happy. You recite the Vedas, repeat them, the Rishis are happy. Then, yad manushyan vasayate, yad ebhya asanam dadati. Those days they did not have any hotels and motels and inns. So every householder was an institute who would support the needy. So whenever a guest comes to your house seeking shelter, overnight shelter, or seeking food, it was the duty of the householder to provide that. Tad vratam. Upanishad says that na kanchana vasado pratyachakshita tad vratam. When somebody asks for shelter, because the travelers are there, if they want to stay overnight, etc., do not turn them away. And when they stay in your home, as long as they are there, you must feed them also. And for that, you must have enough stock of food in your house. So when the lady of the house cooks, Upanishad says, this lady of the house says, I am cooking for that person, for the guest. And thus, with great love, they will offer food to the guest. I mean, you can offer it however you want. You can consider it a privilege that some guest is here. It's my privilege to offer them food and feel gratified by that. Or you think it's my duty that I have to do it, or, well, this fellow is here, what can I do? So different ways you can give. If you give in the best way, the food comes back to in the best way. In the middle way, it comes back to the middle way. The inferior way, it comes back to the inferior way. So ashanam dadati, vasayate, offers shelter, offers food, then other members of the society are satisfied. Yat prashubhya trunodakam vindati. Very common to offer water and grass to the animals, such as cows and other animals. Because where will they go? So we have to offer that. Tena pashunam. By doing that, the pashus, animals are also satisfied. Asya graheshu swapadaha vayamsi apipilkabhya. The dogs, the birds, and all creatures, up to even ants also. Somehow they get, the leftovers and stuff like that. So dogs may get leftover, ants may get the things that is spread and that, and the tree, roots of the tree. When you make the alpana in your home from the rice powder, then also ants get their food. You can see here the harmony with the entire, the ecological order, the balance is there. How human being lived a very conscious life, conscious of the universe around him, and also aware that I am a member of the whole universe, that I am a recipient of what all they do, and therefore it is my duty also to return the favor. These 5 kinds of offerings every human being was required to do. This is called Yajna. Devan bhavayatanena. Prajapati says, by your duties, daily duties, you propitiate devatas. Devatas also include the pitrus, the mains, other human beings, rishis, other creatures. By your offerings, may you propitiate them, may you satisfy them. Then what do you get out of that? Te devaha bhavayantuvaha. And those devatas, all those devatas, pitrus, rishis, in turn will also propitiate you. Also a matter of belief, because what do the devatas do, Swami? It may not be measurable, may not be evident to us, but this is the law that Lord Krishna provides here. That if you offer, then offering comes back to you. This is the rule, that whatever spirit you show towards the universe, the same spirit also comes back to you. Parasparam bhavayanta, thus propitiating each other. Shreyah param avapsyata, may you attain the param shreyah, may you attain the ultimate good. So, there are two kinds of good. One is worldly prosperity, other is the spiritual prosperity. So you can gain either worldly prosperity or spiritual prosperity by the spirit of yajna or cooperative effort, the offering. Says next verse. Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha दास्यन्ते यज्ञ भाविताः तैर्दत्तान् प्रदायेभ्यः यो भुङ्क्तेस्तेन एव सः इष्टान् भोगानि वो देवाः दास्यन्ते यज्ञ भाविताः. All these beings, yajna bhavitaah, propitiated by you, what will they do? Ishtan bhogan dasyante. They will give you desirable objects. Meaning that they will also give you the worldly objects. Very important thing Lord Krishna teaches here. How can human society become prosperous? How can it gain the worldly prosperity as well as spiritual prosperity? These yajnas, these offerings are done with desire, because human beings does desire the worldly prosperity also for his comfort and pleasure, artha and kama. But artha and kama, the comfort and pleasure must be earned by dharma, by righteousness. What is dharma? This is a dharma. Yajna, or the spirit of cooperative effort, is a dharma. So you can imagine an economic system where everybody cooperates with everybody else. What we have today is a competitive system where everybody competes with everybody else. And this is considered to be the most efficient way of producing, with the market economy, with the bottom line stuff. This is the most effective system. At the same time, most damaging system. It's a violent system. Because I compete with you, what is meant by competition is, I am not satisfied with what I have. Not only that, but I want to be better than you. I can compete with myself is one thing, but competing with others is what? I want to be better than you. Thus there is jealousy, there is greed. So this system of competition invokes from us the jealousy and greed and aggressiveness. All of these are in fact the violent aspects of our personality. Whereas this cooperation invokes from us the sattva, whether the system invokes, our mind is made up of sattva, rajas and tamas. What is rajas? Competitiveness, aggressiveness, greed, jealousy, one-upmanship, satisfying ego. What is sattva? Sattva is offering, bringing out from us the spirit of charity, the spirit of compassion, the spirit of forgiveness, the spirit of kindness. That also we have. We discussed yesterday, how can we make ourselves happy? By being kind, by being charitable, by being compassionate. We make others happy and make ourselves also happy. On the other hand, by being aggressive, by being jealous, by being greedy, we hurt others and in turn hurt ourselves also. So this is Lord Krishna's teaching. I talked about this to Swami. He says, Swamiji, this is all right, you true, but then this is what we have. What we have is this system right now. This, what you're talking about, we don't have. And, and nobody is going to accept it also. But all I can tell you is you think about it and forget about whether the world follows it or not. Nobody is going to follow. We can adopt this spirit in our life. In our family, in our circle, in our life, we can, that cooperation in the spirit by which everybody becomes happy, and competition spirit by which everybody becomes unhappy. Many human beings have a lot of prosperity, no doubt, at the cost of the peace of mind, at the cost of happiness, lot of conflicts, lot of stresses. So Lord Krishna says that by this spirit of cooperation, you can gain material prosperity if you want. And if you perform nishkama karma, you attain the spiritual prosperity. Thus this becomes what we call the wish-fulfilling cow. You want material things, you fulfill that wish. You want spiritual growth, it will satisfy that need. So this system, this is what the Creator created along with human beings and guided the human beings as to how to live in cooperation and live a happy life. How to create happiness for yourself, ultimately reaching moksha as ultimate goal. So path of happiness and moksha is outlined here by Prajapati. But suppose we drop out, because you can always drop out by using the free will, then what? So next second line of the verse says, Tair dattan apradaya ebhya yo bhungte stena eva saha. Suppose you drop out of this, meaning you keep on appropriating what the rest of the universe gives you without returning. What will happen? You may accumulate and you may perhaps, become personally a prosperous person. But Lord Krishna says, Tena eva sa, this fellow is a moral thief who appropriates all the gains, the benefits that the rest of the universe gives him without returning the favor. Swami, that's all here. Nobody in the world follows this, and nobody, we do not find anybody suffering at all. Everybody who is competing and aggressive, they become very wealthy. They have huge mansions, and they are always very happy. This is not practical. But the thing is the wealth and comfort equal to happiness? It is possible that by using your capacities, your talents, your advantages that God has given you, in terms of intelligence, in terms of skills, in terms of other kind of advantages we may have over other people. So we may grab much more than our share. They call it equal opportunity. The system is called equal opportunity. Where is equal opportunity? They say the winner gets all. This system is what? Winner gets all. Other fellows, poor fellows who cannot compete, they don't have skills, they are on welfare. Meaning that. So where is equality? Where is equal opportunity? There is no equal opportunity. There is no respect for anybody. Respect is only for those fellows who are so-called successful. That's all. They are respected. Nobody else is respected. Anyway, but here Lord Krishna tells us this moral law. What is law? If you do not adopt the spirit of cooperation, offering yajna in your life, you are a thief. Because the rest of the universe is performing yajna. All Devatas, the sun and moon and fire, water, all of them are making offerings. All trees and plants are making offerings to sustain your life. All the other human beings like farmers, all of them are also making offering to sustain your life. The ancestors have done what they did for sustaining your life. The rishis and teachers also have spent their whole life in giving you knowledge. So all of these have and continue to contribute in your life. And if you become insensitive to that, become so self-centered that one is insensitive to the contribution of all others, you simply appropriate and then consume everything, you become a total consumer. You may consume and become fat, all right, but not happy. Happiness does not come simply by comfort. It does not come by luxury. It does not come by anything external to ourselves. It simply comes only as a state of mind. And when Lord Krishna uses the word stena, thief, that means that we are violating the order whenever we do not join this whole order. Other creatures join because they do not have freedom to violate the order. But because we have freedom, we may violate. So the art of making happiness, creating happiness, yajna. The art of creating unhappiness, being a thief, being a consumer. A contributor versus a consumer. Therefore, says Lord Krishna in the next verse, Yajna shishtashinas santah muchyante sarva kilvishaihi bhunjate te tvagam papaha ye pachantya karanad. Yajna shishtashinah, those who first make offerings to all these 5 kinds of beings, and then whatever is left after that is what they consume, they sustain. Like when a corporation makes profit, first the profit is distributed to all shareholders, and then what remains, those the directors etc. get. That's the idea. Similarly, in our life, there are many shareholders and many stakeholders. Meaning that what we earn and what we get does not only belong to us. Although, Swami, I am working hard, I am working 12 hours a day, I make this salary, that is all right. But in whatever you are making, there is an unseen contribution by all the rest of the creation. Meaning that the Devatas, Pitrus, all of the stakeholders in our life. And therefore, from whatever we get, first the share should be given to them. And then whatever remains belongs to us. In the olden days, when the harvest is done, then before the grains are taken home by the farmer, first all share is given up. This much goes to temple, this much goes to... So because during the year, the carpenter has done something, the mason has done something, the barber has done something, so this goes to temple, this goes to carpenter, this goes to brahmana, all this first of all is distributed to who it belongs to, then what remains goes into the storage of this farmer. So it's all old-fashioned stuff now, that doesn't apply now. The spirit applies. The spirit of contributing stakeholders applies today also. So, Yajna Shishtashinah, those who follow this spirit in their life, that all these my parents, my ancestors, the nature has contributed, therefore it is my duty also to return that favor. And then whatever remains belongs to me. Muchande sarvakil vishayi. Lord Krishna says that these people, they get released from all the kilbisha, they release from all the sins. What is sin? Ragadveshas. What is a sin? Sin is that which creates unhappiness in us. So we can live a sinful life by being self-centered, by being consumers, by ignoring, being indifferent to the contributions of others, by being insensitive to that, we can keep on accumulating and also consuming sin, meaning furthering ragadveshas and furthering our conflicts and unhappiness and sorrow. Or by offering, the sin means ragadveshas slowly and slowly get attenuated, and thus we create for ourselves this path of happiness. Again Lord Krishna says, Bhunjate te tvagam papaha ye pachandi atmakaranat. But then those people who cook only for themselves, in whom there is no room for guests, I mean no room for anybody else, no guests, no animals, no trees, nothing. Whatever is cooked, cook only for myself. See, as we were growing up, children, mother would cook the food, and we are going to school. So first we would be out at 9:30, 10 o'clock is when I would have the lunch. But first thing mother says, take this, feed the cow. Take this, give it to the beggar. Take this, put it for the dogs. Their share is first given, and then only we get our food. So they were in some way or the other, all of these were when father would perhaps go out in the morning to have darshan in the temple. He would have some kind of bag with him in which grains are filled, and we had all those big bird feeders. He would keep on depositing grains, and the birds would be sustained. There were people, even now also you find, that their business, every morning, I see one person coming when we go to our classes. He goes and under a tree, he spreads that flour, wheat flour and things like that, at the root of all the trees for the ants and other creatures to eat. Just a matter of sensitivity. So this is how they contribute to all the stakeholders. And you can be indifferent. Legally, nobody is going to call us. We have not violated any law of the land, but we have violated the moral law, and thus accumulating papa. Bhunjate te tvagam papa. We are not eating food, we are eating sin, they say. Again Upanishad says that Ishvara created food, different kinds of food he has created. And the food that we are eating, in fact, the sadharanam annam, that food is meant for all creatures, not only for human beings. The grains are meant for all creatures. Even though we may cultivate them but it's not only meant for human beings, meant for all the creatures, all living beings. Therefore, say etudupaste, the person who eats only for himself without giving share to other creatures. So Upanishad says that when we have take a morsel of food in our hand and we are about to put in our mouth, all the world is watching us, that he is eating our food, our share is taken away. Because this food is meant for everybody. The birds also should have their share. Other, herbivores also should have their share. All of them should have their share. Human beings should not appropriate everything for himself. If you appropriate that, says here Lord Krishna, that agham papa, these sinners actually eat sin and not the food. Kevalago bhavati kevaladi. He says one who is so self-centered, he cooks only for himself. He is not eating food, he is eating sin. It's all said in the Vedas, which Lord Krishna is in fact here just sort of, because this is the essence of all the Vedas. Not only Upanishad but the Vedas or Karmakanda also. So Lord Krishna is telling us those rules which are stated in the Vedas. So this is how the Yajna is taught here in the Bhagavad Gita. And Lord Krishna says, look at the universe. How a process of offering is constantly going on. How every element is offering itself to sustain this functioning of the universe. So we'll quickly look at the next verse here. Next verses. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavah yajnad bhavati parjanyah yajnah karma samudbhavah karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishtitam. So Lord Krishna draws our attention to the universe around us and says, Annad bhavanti bhutani. The living beings are born of food. The food consumed by the parents gets converted into blood and semen, and that is how the living beings are born. So we are all products of food. Annad bhavanti bhutani. This is very known to us. Parjanyat anna sambhavaha. Where does annam, where does the food come from? From parjanya, meaning from the rain the food comes. That also is very known to us. Then where does the rain come from? Yajnat bhavati parjanya. Lord Krishna says the parjanya, the rain comes from yajna. Yajna means if a society basically follows the value of this spirit of contribution, spirit of offering, then that society creates a certain energy which attracts. In those days, in the Vedic times, in the agrarian society, rain represented prosperity. So there are statements, sometimes they say in our language, when it rains, the gold is raining, they say, What rains is water. But the water ultimately brings prosperity, the food and prosperity, and then ultimately brings the gold also. So rain stands for prosperity of the society. How does the society become prosperous? By yajna. By spirit of yajna. Even countries like United States, Western countries, they have worked very hard. They have had a work ethics. And that is the reason why they are very prosperous people. Perhaps some countries which did not have that kind of work ethics, maybe they did not put that kind of an effort, maybe did not create that prosperity for themselves. And therefore, prosperity is not an accident. It is a product of the cooperative effort of entire society. And now that the society becomes prosperous, slowly we become more and more delicate and less capable of working hard, then become more and more self-centered and want to appropriate more and more. As a society, the spirit changes, you find that the prosperity also goes down. So here Lord Krishna again tells us this law, the spiritual law. When does society become prosperous? When the society overall follows the spirit of yajna or this cooperative effort. In fact, the whole Varnashram Vyavastha, the system of caste and stage of life was meant as a cooperative effort. That every caste and the stage of life members were assigned the tasks, the duties, which when they performed, then they contributed to the functioning of the society. So the whole system, and then, so caste system as well as stage of life, and these 5 yajnas that I mentioned, all of these was meant to create a cooperative society, a society based on spirit of cooperation, yajna. And so we know that in Vedic times also India was a very prosperous country. In fact, India was the most prosperous country until the British came. In 150 years, they simply drained out everything from the country, and therefore, now they say that you are poor fellows, what are you doing? But then what they did was, they completely drained out, sucked all prosperity from the country systematically and left India as the poorest country in the world, which was the most prosperous country. Anyway, that is besides the point. But the thing is that it is not that India always was like that. It was a very prosperous country because people followed dharma. Anyway, so when dharma is there, prosperity is there. Yajna dhavati parjanya. Parjanya, prosperity comes as of yajna, as a result of the self-sacrifice, spirit of offering, spirit of contribution, spirit of cooperation. Yajna karma samudbhava. How do you perform yajna? As guided by the scriptures. What you should do, what you should not do. Why should I worry about it? So, where does the duties come from? Karma brahmotvam vidhi. Here Arjuna understand that all duties are assigned by the Vedas. Where do the Vedas come from? Brahmakshara smadvam. Vedas are revealed by the Ishvara, which are meant for the well-being of the human beings, and the teaching is imparted to us in the form of the duties, do's and don'ts. Tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishthitam. Hey Arjuna, whenever you perform any small act of kindness, any act of contribution, any act in which you have the spirit of being helpful to others, being useful to others, and that comes from an inner generosity. How fortunate we feel, how we count our blessings. We can always look at what all we do not have and always keep on complaining about what all I do not have. At the same time, if you make note of what we have, you will find that we are very fortunate that we have been given plenty. That plenty need not be measured only in terms of money, in terms of many other things that we have, which we can always offer or contribute. So, they talk about 3 kinds of tea you can give. Tea means letter T. What is tea? First is time. That everybody has. Second is talent. We have some talent. Time, some kindness. Talent, if you think, we always find what we can do for others. And third is treasure, of course. So, time, talent and treasure. The 3 ways of contributing. And we can think of some other ways as well. It is just a spirit. Where I feel, our Swami used to say, Bhagavad Gita also says, Datavyam diyat danam diyate. That danam or the charity is given because I feel that I should give. There is an inner richness in me. So I feel I am privileged by Ishvara. That I have been given a human body, I have been given a mind, intellect, I have been given some talents, I have been given whatever I have been given. I may not be like somebody else, of course. I may not be as talented as X, Y, Z. Doesn't matter. I need not be somebody else. I need not be like somebody else. What I am also is good enough to make me happy and to make a contribution. Everybody can contribute. Some time, some talent, provided there is a spirit of contribution. We will think of in what way we can become helpful, we can contribute to the other society or the well-being of other people. That's the spirit. So tasmat, Lord Krishna says, Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yajne Pratishthitam. So whenever any act is performed with the spirit of being useful, being a contributor, being an offerer, Brahma, Ishvara is always present there. Nityam Pratishthitam. Brahma means Veda, the Ishvara is always present. Meaning that this person is always a recipient of the grace of Ishvara. Meaning that we are not alone here. So Ishvara is invoked, the grace of Ishvara is invoked whenever we conduct ourselves in a manner which is in harmony with the order of Ishvara. Ishvara has created a universe where there is spirit of cooperation, paropakara. All elements of the paropakara means they all help others. There's a trees bear fruits for others. Rivers bring water for others. Sun shines, gives light for others. The whole nature does what it does for others. And therefore, that's the spirit. So when that's the spirit we also observe, then the grace of Ishvara also is with us. Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yajne Pratishthitam. And so finally, the last verse is, Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hayah aghayurindriya ramah Mogham partha sajivati. In this world, one who does not follow the cosmic cycle set in motion, Pravat Chakram, the whole cosmic cycle you can call it, the cosmic wheel you can call it, the cosmic order you can call it. What is the order? Ishvara, first of all, reveals the Vedas. The Vedas educate us about how to live the life, what are our duties, what we should do, what we should not do. Basically, Vedas teach Yajna. That Yajna, when implemented in our life, creates also the prosperity for ourselves and for others. Thus we create happiness for ourselves. So this cycle is set in motion. It's a very beautiful view or insight we are given about the world. Some very unique contribution that Bhagavad Gita or Vedas Hinduism has. How sensitive this tradition is, this religion is to the entire universe. How it is an eco-friendly life. Not that all animals are our food and the whole world is meant for our enjoyment. So you keep on exploiting them and killing them and exploit the nature. The scripture do not say that. In fact, the whole universe is nothing but worshipped. So universe is looked upon as in fact a field of worshipping. That's called Yajna. Yajna means the spirit of worship. And the universe is manifestation of Ishvara. And so, they relate to universe as a worshipper, not as an exploiter, as a contributor, not as a consumer. So this is a teaching that is unique, you find here. So eco-friendly thing. How we can live the life in harmony with this universal cosmic order. And more order is there in our life, more orderly or harmonious our life becomes. Harmony of mind and the happiness of the mind, and thus the spiritual prosperity, and we told you earlier also that when our mind enjoys that happiness or composure, automatically we become more effective people even in our worldly life. Because to do our worldly tasks also we need a mind which is composed, which is together, which is available to us to understand, assess, make decisions. So not only does Bhagavad Gita talk about spiritual prosperity, but Lord Krishna says that spiritual prosperity will automatically bring the material prosperity. You become a more effective person. You become a yogi and become therefore a more effective, more efficient person. And therefore, even as far as the worldly prosperity is concerned, then also become prosperous in that sense also. So these verses teach us how to live our life in harmony with the cosmic order, how to bring order in our life, and more we are in harmony with order, more there is inner harmony, and more there is inner harmony, more happiness there is. We are on the path of self-growth, self-purification, and the path of yoga and knowledge. Path of moksha, this process will culminate into Shreyah Param Avapsyata. O human beings, by this may you gain the supreme or ultimate Shreya, which is moksha. So thus the path of moksha also is shown. The path of happiness leading to moksha. Happiness is freeing happiness. There is happiness which is binding happiness. The happiness which comes from ourselves is freeing happiness, as we explained yesterday. So that is the concept of yajna in the Bhagavad Gita, which we can in fact implement in our own daily life, that spirit, and create happiness for ourselves and for others also. And for that we require, as you said, a clarity of understanding. Number two, a value for living that kind of life. Number three, interpreting in every situation what yajna means here. And number four, overcoming inner resistance to do, because the mind will resist, my greed will resist, my resentment will resist. Overcoming inner resistance and asserting what is right thing to do, that is what is required to put this into practice. Clarity of understanding, a value of yajna, an understanding or interpretation of what spirit of yajna means in a given situation, and then overcoming the inner resistance to assert that and put it into practice. When you do that, as Lord Krishna says, Shreyah Param Avapsyata, may they become your Ishtakamaduk, may it become the wish-fulfilling cow and lead you to prosperity of all the kinds. And again Lord Krishna said that whenever the spirit of yajna is in fact observed, Ishvara's grace is present. He is everywhere. Swami, why should he is present everywhere. And his grace is always there. Not that only few people get his grace. But then, like the sunlight is available to everybody. But only those who open their windows, they get the benefit of light. So we open the windows of our heart or mind by the spirit of yajna. Then we become the recipients of the grace of Ishvara. Yajna nityam, yajna brahma, yajna pratishtitam. So thus we gain the grace, and that's a life in tune with Ishvara, which is the ultimate order in the universe. So may Ishvara give us that understanding, that maturity, the wisdom. Lord, give me the wisdom to know the difference, what to do, what not to do, and wisdom and the strength. These both the things we need. With that prayer, we'll conclude our series of talks here. Now, as we promised to spend a few minutes answering the questions if you have.
Yes, Swami. Whoever has got questions,